Janelle Brown admitted at the age of 50 that she had nothing left. She looked into the cameras, her face etched with the exhaustion of decades of sacrifice, and confessed that she had no assets in her name, no inheritance for her children, and no security for her future. But have you forgotten that her eldest son, Logan, is a business mastermind? While the world watched Kody and Robyn accumulate hoard after hoard of expensive art and property, Las Vegas insider sources and growing fan theories suggest that the quietest Brown child is currently making the loudest noise behind the scenes. Logan Brown is rumored to be auditing Kody and Robyn's luxurious spending. From the expensive paintings hoarded in Robyn's mansion to Kody's secret bank accounts, is Logan about to expose it all? We are tracking the paper trail, and what we are finding changes everything about the end of this family. If you believe that Janelle deserves justice and want to see the truth about the Brown family finances finally exposed, please take a second right now to hit that like button. It helps us spread this investigation to more viewers who need to know the truth. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We are digging deeper than anyone else into the financial secrets of Coyote Pass, and you do not want to miss the updates we have coming next. To understand the magnitude of what Logan Brown is potentially doing right now, we first have to understand the crime scene. And make no mistake, from a financial perspective, what happened to Janelle Brown is a crime of negligence and manipulation. For over a decade, we watched a slow-motion robbery. The timeline of this betrayal is not just about hurt feelings or broken marriages, it is about cold, hard cash. We have to go back to the beginning of the end, the move to Flagstaff. This was the moment the financial guillotine fell on Janelle, though she didn't know it yet. Reports and property records indicate that the family pot, the communal fund that Janelle contributed to for her entire working life, was drained. But where did it go? It didn't vanish into thin air. It transformed into tangible assets. But here is the twist. None of those assets ended up in Janelle's name. When the family left Las Vegas, they cashed out significant equity. Janelle was the primary breadwinner for years, working long hours while others stayed home. Her 401k, her savings, and the equity from her Las Vegas home were all poured into the purchase of Coyote Pass and, more infuriatingly, the down payment for Kody and Robyn's nearly $1 million mansion. We have seen the footage. We have heard Janelle say, in her own words, that she gave half the proceeds from her Vegas home to Robyn so that Robyn could buy her house. The promise was that money would circle back. Kody promised that once the other properties were sold, the funds would be redistributed to build Janelle's house. That never happened. Instead, we watched Kody and Robyn fill that house with expensive clutter, floor-to-ceiling artwork, unauthorized purchases, and vehicles, while Janelle found herself living in a trailer on a plot of mud that she couldn't even build on because the family pot had run dry. This is where the theory of the secret documents begins to take shape. Viewers have long pointed out that the math simply does not add up. If Kody and Robyn have not been working traditional jobs and the show money is split, how are they sustaining a lifestyle that includes nannies, Rolex watches, and David Yurman jewelry, while Janelle worries about having an estate to leave her children? The answer lies in the mismanagement of the LLCs and the family funds. Reports suggest that there has been a systematic siphoning of resources toward the legal marriage, leaving the spiritual wives with nothing but empty promises. Janelle's moment of realization on the show was heartbreaking. She realized she was 50 years old with nothing to show for her life's work. She spoke about being smart with money in the past, yet finding herself in a position of stupidity because she trusted the wrong people. But this is where the narrative shifts. Janelle is not alone. She has a secret weapon that Kody and Robyn likely underestimated. That weapon is her firstborn son, Logan Brown. Logan has been absent from the show for years. He stepped away from the cameras, refusing to be part of the circus. While Kody was busy trying to control the narrative and Robyn was busy playing the victim, Logan was busy building a resume that is nothing short of impressive. This is not just a reality TV kid who grew up to sell supplements on Instagram. Logan is an academic and a professional. He holds a Master of Business Administration, an MBA, from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. He currently works as a manager and director in corporate business development. Why does this matter? Because Logan understands forensic accounting. He understands business law. He understands how to read a balance sheet and, more importantly, he knows how to spot when numbers are being manipulated. When Janelle says she has nothing, Logan hears something very different. He hears a challenge. He hears that his mother, the woman who raised him and virtually all his siblings while Kody was driving sports cars, has been defrauded. There is a pervasive theory circulating among the most dedicated observers of this family that Logan's distance from the show was not just about privacy, but about strategy. By staying off the payroll, by keeping his name off the contracts, he remains an independent third party. He is not beholden to TLC's non-disclosure agreements in the same way the others are. He is a private citizen with the financial literacy to tear Kody's empire apart piece by piece. Think about the psychology of Kody Brown. He fears poverty. He fears losing control. But above all, he fears being exposed as a fraud. For years, he has claimed to be the leader, the provider, the grand patriarch. But if Logan were to initiate a financial audit of the family funds, specifically looking into where Janelle's Vegas equity went and how the Coyote Pass loans were structured, it wouldn't just be a family dispute. It could be a legal nightmare for Kody and Robyn. We have to consider the October theory. There are whispers and timeline coincidences suggesting that shortly after Janelle officially separated from Kody, there was a shift in her confidence. In the beginning of the separation, she seemed scared, unsure of how she would survive financially. Then suddenly, her demeanor changed. She became more assertive. She started traveling. She seemed less worried about the money. What changed? Many believe that Logan stepped in during this period. Imagine the scene. Janelle, distraught and feeling foolish, sits down with Logan. She lays out the paperwork she has, the tax returns she was allowed to see, the loan documents for Coyote Pass. Logan, with his MBA training and corporate experience, looks at these papers and sees what Janelle couldn't. He sees the missing transactions. He sees the business expenses claimed by Kody and Robyn that were actually personal luxuries. He sees the transfer of wealth from the family pot into the legal wife's sole assets. This isn't just speculation. It is based on the capability of the person involved. Logan has always been the father figure of the family. Since he was a teenager, he was waking his siblings up for school, making breakfast, and ensuring the household ran smoothly while Kody was fluttering between houses. Logan has a deep, protective instinct over his mother. If he sees that she has been wronged financially, he has the tools to fix it. He wouldn't approach this with screaming matches or emotional pleas. He would approach it like a business director. He would demand an audit. The concept of a forensic audit is terrifying for someone like Kody. An audit doesn't care about your feelings or your patriarchal authority. It only cares about the math. If Janelle contributed $100,000 to a down payment, and that money is now equity in a house with Robyn's name on it, that is a traceable debt. Even without a formal contract, there are legal avenues like unjust enrichment or constructive trust that a sharp mind like Logan would be aware of. Furthermore, we need to look at the Robyn factor in relation to Logan. Have you noticed that Robyn rarely, if ever, mentions Logan? She talks about the other older kids, usually to complain that they don't respect her or Kody. But she steers clear of Logan. Why? Because bullies and manipulators generally avoid the people they know they cannot fool. Logan has never played Kody's game. He doesn't seek Kody's approval. He doesn't need Kody's money. This makes him dangerous to the dynamic Kody and Robyn have established. If Logan is indeed preparing a financial dossier to help his mother recover her retirement funds, he is likely looking at the assets sitting on Coyote Pass. That land is the key. Currently, the names on those deeds are a tangled mess, but Janelle has a stake. However, the land is useless unless it is paid off. Kody and Robyn have been stalling. Why? Perhaps because paying it off requires money they have already spent. If Logan forces a sale or forces a buyout, he could legally compel Kody to liquidate those precious assets, the art, the jewelry, maybe even the mansion, to pay Janelle what she is owed. The narrative that Janelle walked away with nothing might be the story Kody tells himself to sleep at night, but it is likely the calm before the storm. We are looking at a son who is a strategic expert, backing a mother who has nothing left to lose. The combination is volatile. The silence coming from Logan's camp is not inactivity. In the business world, silence usually means the lawyers are drafting the paperwork. Let's dig deeper into the specific assets that are likely under Logan's microscope. The art hoard is a major point of contention. Viewers have spotted thousands of dollars worth of artwork on the walls of Robyn's home in background shots, pieces by artists that cost a fortune. At the same time, Janelle was struggling to secure a loan for a modest build. If Logan is building a case for constructive trust, documenting these purchases is vital. It proves that while one partner was sacrificing for the family goal, the other partner was diverting funds for personal accumulation. This is the definition of financial infidelity. There is also the matter of the LLCs. The Brown family created several limited liability companies to handle their media income, but who controls the checkbook? If Kody removed Janelle as an officer or signatory on the main accounts, or if he moved money from the business account to personal accounts shared only with Robyn, that is a breach of fiduciary duty. Logan knows this. These are the things he studied. These are the things he deals with in his professional life. It is entirely plausible that he has requested the bank statements for Dabsark Entertainment and other family entities. The tension is palpable. You can see it in Kody's eyes in the recent interviews. He looks cornered. He lashes out with anger that seems disproportionate to the situation. He speaks of betrayal constantly. But is he talking about romantic betrayal, or is he talking about the betrayal of his secrets being exposed? If Logan has presented him with a spreadsheet showing exactly how much he owes Janelle, Kody's anger makes perfect sense. He is being held accountable by the son he relied on to be a compliant soldier, who instead grew up to be a commanding general. We also have to consider the wedding guest list clue. When Logan got married, the entire family was invited. Robyn and Kody attended. But observe the body language in the photos and the seating arrangements. There was an icy distance. They were there, but they were not in the circle. Logan is classy. He wouldn't cause a scene at his own wedding, but the separation was clear. This wasn't just a family drifting apart. This was a business separation. By inviting them, Logan took the high road. But by keeping them at arm's length, he signaled that the power dynamic had shifted. He is no longer the child asking for permission. He is the equal, potentially the superior, in terms of success and stability. As we move deeper into this analysis, we have to ask, what is the endgame? Is the goal to sue Kody? Lawsuits are public and messy. Logan is private. It is far more likely that Logan is using the threat of a lawsuit and the threat of a public forensic audit to force a settlement. This is the secret negotiation theory. The idea is that Logan has presented Kody with a choice. Pay my mother her fair share of the Coyote Pass equity and the Vegas proceeds. Or we take this to court, and every single bank transfer you've made in the last 10 years becomes public record. Think about that leverage. Kody is obsessed with his image. He tries to control the narrative that he is a good man, a victim of bitter wives. If a forensic accountant reveals that he spent Janelle's 401k on Robyn's credit card debt or luxury items, his reputation is destroyed beyond repair. TLC might even have to distance themselves. Logan holds the nuclear codes to Kody's public image. This financial war is not being fought with screaming matches on the couch. It is being fought with spreadsheets, tax returns, and property deeds. And in that arena, Kody is outmatched. Kody operates on emotion and impulse. Logan operates on logic and strategy. Janelle has often been called the logical wife, but her logic was often clouded by her faith and her loyalty to Kody. Logan has no such blinders. He sees the math for what it is. The down payment on Robyn's house is the smoking gun. That money came from the family pot. Legally, tracing that is complex, but not impossible. If Janelle can prove that the funds used were community funds intended for a different purpose, she has a claim to the equity in Robyn's house. Imagine the panic in the McMansion if Logan laid out a legal claim that gives Janelle a 20% stake in their home. It would explain the frantic attempts by Kody to pay off Coyote Pass or reshuffle the lots. He is trying to hide the money before the audit is complete. But it might be too late. Insider whispers suggest that the documentation process started months ago. We are seeing a Janelle who is calm, smiling, and looking toward the future. That is not the look of a woman who is destitute. That is the look of a woman who knows the cavalry has arrived. And the cavalry is wearing a suit and has an MBA. This brings us to the most critical question. How much does Logan know? If he has been advising Janelle, he likely knows everything. He knows where the bodies are buried, financially speaking. He knows about the creative accounting used to justify the nanny. He knows about the disparity in household budgets. And Kody knows that he knows. This is why Kody's narrative has become so erratic. He is fighting a war on two fronts, the emotional war with the public and the financial war with his own son. Next, we need to uncover the details of the secret meeting. There are theories that a summit took place, away from the cameras, involving the adult children. This wasn't about holiday plans, it was about asset recovery. If true, this changes the entire landscape of the show. We need to explore how the other siblings, Hunter, Garrison, Gabe, might be rallying behind Logan's strategy. This isn't just one son. It's an alliance of the children who were left behind, led by the one who made it out. The financial war is the storyline TLC isn't showing you, but it is the only one that matters. As we prepare to dive into the specifics of the secret meeting theory and the breakdown of the Coyote Pass lots, ask yourself, why would Janelle stay so calm if she was truly broke? The answer is simple. She isn't broke. She's just waiting for the check to clear. The theory of the secret meeting changes the entire lens through which we view the last two seasons of Sister Wives. To understand how Janelle went from a woman crying about being trapped to a woman confidently buying an RV and eventually separating, we have to look at the missing hours, the time not captured by TLC cameras. Insider reports and persistent rumors suggest that a summit took place, likely in Las Vegas, shortly before Janelle's demeanor shifted on the show. This wasn't a family reunion. This was a war council. And at the head of the table sat Logan Brown. Picture the scene that sources describe. It wasn't held at Coyote Pass under the watchful eye of Kody or the prying lenses of production. It was likely held at Logan's home or a neutral, private location. The attendees were the key players of the resistance: Janelle, Logan, Hunter, and potentially Garrison and Gabe. The agenda was single-fold: Project Exit. The theory posits that Logan, having reviewed the limited financial information Janelle possessed, realized that waiting for Kody to do the right thing was a strategy for bankruptcy. He realized that Kody was not merely incompetent, he was actively funneling assets away from the original wives. It is believed that in this meeting, Logan presented Janelle with a freedom binder, a financial roadmap. This document likely outlined the real value of the Coyote Pass land, the equity differences, and the potential legal claims Janelle had to the family funds. But more importantly, it provided a safety net. The reason Janelle stayed for so long wasn't just love. It was fear. Fear of poverty. Fear of starting over at 50 with nothing. If Logan, with his stable career and financial acumen, looked his mother in the eye and said, "I have your back and here's the plan," that fear would evaporate. This explains the sudden boldness we saw in Janelle. Remember when she bought the RV? Kody was furious. He called it a stupid decision. He tried to belittle her, but Janelle didn't care. Why? Because the RV wasn't just a vehicle, it was an asset in her name. It was the first step in the plan Logan arguably devised: liquidity. Stop pouring money into the Coyote Pass black hole controlled by Kody and Robyn, and start putting money into tangible things that Janelle could drive away with. The RV was a chess move. Kody thought it was a midlife crisis. Logan knew it was an escape pod. This secret meeting theory also casts a new light on the interactions between Kody and his sons. We saw the heartbreaking fights with Gabe and Garrison. Kody demanded apologies. He demanded loyalty. But notice who he never demanded an apology from? Logan. Kody never speaks ill of Logan on camera. He treats Logan with a strange, distant respect, bordering on fear. Why? Because Kody knows that Logan is the one person he cannot gaslight. You can't manipulate a man who pays his own bills, manages his own investments, and knows exactly how much you are worth. Kody avoids Logan because Logan is the reality check that Kody's ego cannot handle. If this meeting happened, it effectively ended the plural marriage long before the official announcements. It created a shadow alliance. While Kody was busy playing house with Robyn and enforcing his COVID rules, Logan was likely instructing his brothers on how to protect their assets and their mother. The distance the older boys kept wasn't just teenage rebellion, it was a strategic quarantine from a toxic financial situation. They weren't just avoiding Kody, they were avoiding the drain on their resources. Now, we have to look at the most public display of this new dynamic, Logan's wedding. To the casual viewer, it was a beautiful ceremony. To the investigator, it was a crime scene of clues. Robyn and Kody were invited, yes. But let's look closer. They were not in the inner circle. In the photos, they stood awkwardly to the side. They were guests, not parents of the groom. This distinction is massive. In Mormon culture, and specifically in the Brown family history, the father is the center of the universe at these events. He officiates, he gives speeches, he dances in the middle of the circle. At Logan's wedding, Kody was just a guy in a suit. This was a power move. By inviting them, Logan took away their ability to play the victim. If he hadn't invited them, Robyn would have spent the next 3 seasons crying on the couch about how the family hates us. By inviting them, but stripping them of all power and status at the event, Logan silenced them. He showed them that the family continues without them. The empire of Kody Brown has crumbled, and the new kingdom belongs to the children who actually work for a living. There is a specific detail about the wedding seating that fans have obsessed over. Robyn was seated in a way that kept her away from the core excitement. She looked uncomfortable. She looked like an outsider. For a woman who prides herself on being the counselor and the heart of the family, being relegated to the cheap seats must have been humiliating. And who designed that seating chart? Logan and his wife, Michelle. It was a subtle message. You are here because we are polite, not because you are necessary. This brings us to the Robyn factor and why she is terrified of Logan. Robyn's entire strategy relies on 2 things: emotional manipulation and information control. She controls Kody by feeding his ego and painting herself as the obedient damsel in distress. She controls the family narrative by claiming confusion. I don't understand why they left, I just want the family together. This act works on Kody. It worked on the wives for a long time because they were conditioned to keep the peace. It does not work on Logan. Logan deals in facts. You cannot cry your way out of a balance sheet. You cannot confuse your way out of a tax audit. Robyn avoids talking about Logan because he represents the one thing she cannot conquer: competence. If Logan is indeed auditing the family's spending, he is looking at Robyn's lifestyle with a microscope, and what he is seeing is likely fueling the legal fire. Let's talk about the nanny situation. This was the most controversial financial revelation in recent seasons. What does the nanny? Do you? Christine asked it, but Logan is likely answering it. In a forensic audit, paying a nanny when 2 adults are home without full-time jobs is a red flag. If family funds that Janelle contributed to, were used to pay this employee, that is a misappropriation of community assets. Logan could argue that this was an unnecessary expense designed to drain the pot, thereby defrauding the other wives of their equity. Then there is the shopping. The precious moments figurines, the endless boxes arriving at the mansion, the expensive wall art. To Kody, these are just things Robyn needs. To Logan, these are unauthorized withdrawals. Every painting on the wall in Robyn's house represents a tuition payment for Truly, or a medical bill for Isabel, or a retirement deposit for Janelle. If Logan is building a case for unjust enrichment, he is cataloging every single item visible in that house. He is essentially doing an inventory of stolen goods. This is why Robyn's anxiety seems to have skyrocketed in recent interviews. Have you noticed she looks constantly on edge? She speaks carefully, constantly looking at Kody for reassurance. It's not just the pressure of the show, it's the pressure of the walls closing in. She knows that Janelle has a quiet strength, but she also knows that Janelle's children are fierce. If Logan decides to go public with his findings, or even just threatens to, Robyn's reputation as the peacemaker is obliterated. She becomes the embezzler. There is also the theory that Logan acts as a shield for Janelle's new financial life. Since leaving Kody, Janelle has started her own business ventures, joined the other wives in different projects, and is rebuilding. Kody has hinted that he feels entitled to a portion of the wives' income even after separation, based on their spiritual covenants. Logan is the firewall. It is highly probable that Logan helped Janelle structure her new LLCs so that Kody cannot touch a single dime. He likely set up trusts and legal barriers that Kody, with his chaotic understanding of business, cannot penetrate. The Robyn factor also includes the fear of the monogamous luxury life ending. Robyn entered the family when the show started, when the money started flowing. She has never known the lean years that Janelle and Christine endured. She has only known the TLC checks, but those checks are tied to the family drama. With the family gone, the show is on shaky ground. But more immediately, if Logan forces a settlement where Kody has to buy out Janelle's share of Coyote Pass, where does that cash come from? They don't have the liquidity. They would have to sell. They might have to sell the mansion. They might have to sell the extra land. They might have to sell the art. Imagine Robyn having to downsize. Imagine Kody having to tell Robyn, we have to move into a smaller house because I have to pay Janelle back. That is the scenario Logan is engineering. He is not trying to destroy them. He is trying to make them pay their debts. But for people like Kody and Robyn, paying a debt feels like destruction. Fan theories have gone even deeper, suggesting that Logan may have possession of receipts or digital trails that Kody thought were deleted. We live in a digital age. Venmo transactions, PayPal histories, Zelle transfers, these leave footprints. If Kody was moving money from the Kody Brown Family Entertainment LLC into a private account for Robyn, that is traceable. And if anyone has the password or the access to the old family accounts, it would be the son who managed the household for years. Logan likely knows the passwords Kody still uses. He knows the security questions. He knows the banks. The silence is the loudest noise in this drama. Kody screams about Christine. He whines about Mary. He argues with Janelle, but he never, ever challenges Logan. This is the Voldemort effect. He fears the name. He fears the person. He knows that Logan is the one child who beat him at his own game. Kody wanted to be a leader. Logan became one. Kody wanted to be a business mogul. Logan became one. Kody wanted to be respected. Logan is respected. This dynamic creates a fascinating standoff. On one side, you have the McMansion, filled with expensive clutter, paranoia, and a couple desperately trying to rewrite history. On the other side, you have the Resistance, a group of adult children and ex-wives living their best lives, guided by the steady hand of the eldest son. But the most explosive part of the secret documents theory is yet to come. It involves the tax implications of Coyote Pass. Rumors are swirling that the property taxes and the loan structures were set up in a way that disproportionately burdened the family pot, while the title benefits went to Kody and Robyn. If Logan has uncovered tax fraud, even accidental tax fraud due to negligence, this goes beyond a civil dispute. This brings in the IRS. And that is a level of heat that Kody Brown, with his gun sales and show money, absolutely cannot survive. As we transition into the final phase of this investigation, we have to look at the end game. What does justice look like for Janelle? Is it a check? Is it the land? Or is it the total public exposure of Kody and Robyn's financial manipulation? The Robyn factor suggests that Robyn will do anything to keep the secrets hidden. She will cry, she will manipulate, she might even try to cut a deal behind Kody's back. Would Robyn throw Kody under the bus to save her own financial security if Logan applies enough pressure? That is the question we need to answer next. We are watching a game of high-stakes poker. Kody is bluffing with a pair of twos. Logan is sitting there with a royal flush, just waiting for the right moment to lay the cards on the table. And Janelle? She's finally cashing out her chips. The possibility of an IRS intervention is the nuclear winter that Kody Brown never saw coming. While he was busy worrying about which wife was obeying his COVID protocols, he was likely neglecting the strict record-keeping required for a multi-partner business structure. Reports from sources close to the production suggest that the family finances were often treated as a singular slush fund rather than distinct business accounts. If Logan has indeed audited these records, he has likely found instances of personal expenses like Victoria's Secret debts, jewelry purchases, and private school tuition being paid out of business accounts that Janelle was a partner in. In the eyes of the law, that is not just unfair, it is a breach of contract and potentially tax fraud. This brings us to the settlement theory. Viewers have noted that in the most recent updates, Janelle seems to have secured a comfortable living situation. She is traveling, she is happy, and she is spending money. Where did this liquidity come from? The prevailing theory is that Logan did not drag Kody to court because he didn't have to. He simply showed Kody the numbers. He likely laid out a dossier on a table, perhaps the dining table at the McMansion, and offered a simple ultimatum. Buy Mom out of her share of Coyote Pass and repay the Vegas equity immediately, or we release this audit to the public and to the IRS. For Kody, keeping the show going is his lifeline. A public scandal involving financial fraud would kill the series. TLC would cut ties instantly. Kody knows this. Robyn knows this. Therefore, it is highly probable that a quiet, massive transfer of wealth has already occurred. This would explain why Kody has been spotted looking more haggard and stressed than ever before. He isn't just heartbroken, he's broke. He likely had to liquidate assets, perhaps even selling off some of those investments in gun accessories or precious metals to pay the Janelle tax. Let's talk about the Coyote Pass liquidation. For years, Kody preached that this land was the legacy. He wanted to build 5 houses. He wanted his own compound. But notice the silence regarding the property development recently. The construction equipment has vanished. The plans are stalled. Why? Because you cannot build on land that is currently being leveraged to pay off a debt. It is widely believed that Janelle's name is still on the deeds as a form of collateral. Logan has likely advised her, do not sign off on that land until the cash is in your hand. This turns Coyote Pass from a dream into a prison for Kody. He pays the taxes on it. He pays the insurance on it. But he cannot build on it because Logan has effectively placed a lien on the property through Janelle. Every time Kody looks at that empty dirt, he is reminded of the financial war he lost. He is land rich but cash poor, stuck in a stalemate with a son who outsmarted him. We must also address the art auction rumor. There has been chatter on message boards and fan groups about high-value items similar to those seen in Robyn's house appearing on secondary markets or auction sites. This feeds into the theory that the monogamous luxury lifestyle is being dismantled piece by piece. If Kody is secretly selling off the art hoard to stay afloat and pay Janelle, it is the ultimate poetic justice. The very items they bought to display their wealth are being sold to pay for their betrayal. The beauty of Logan's involvement is that it completely neutralizes Robyn's narrative. Robyn cannot cry victim against a spreadsheet. She cannot claim Logan is bullying her by asking for tax returns. Business is business. Logan has stripped the emotion out of the conflict, and without emotion, Kody and Robyn have no weapons. They thrive on drama. They crumble under logic. Think about the legacy of the show. We started watching a man with 4 wives who claimed to be a king. We end with a man living in a cluttered fortress with 1 wife, paranoid and indebted, while his rejected wives and children flourish. Logan represents the triumph of the second generation. He took the chaos of his childhood, the financial instability he witnessed growing up, and he used it to forge a shield for his mother. Janelle's recent behavior confirms she is safe. She isn't bitter. She isn't ranting. She is glowing. That is the glow of a woman who has a golden parachute. She speaks of the future with excitement. She talks about building on her own terms, or perhaps not building at all and just traveling. That kind of freedom costs money. And since we know Kody doesn't give up money willingly, we know it was taken from him. It was extracted. The financial war of Coyote Pass is effectively over. Janelle won. But she didn't win because she fought dirty. She won because she raised a son who respects her, a son who educated himself, and a son who was willing to step into the ring with his father to demand what was right. Logan Brown is the silent hero of Sister Wives. He never gave an interview. He never posted a cryptic quote on Instagram. He simply went to work. There is a lesson here for Kody, though he is likely too stubborn to learn it. You cannot sacrifice your children for your ego and expect them to remain loyal. You cannot rob the mothers of your children and expect the children to stay silent. Kody spent years worrying about being the head of the household. He forgot that the true measure of a man is not how many wives he can control, but how well he provides for and protects his family. By that metric, Logan is the patriarch now. As the cameras eventually stop rolling and the show fades into history, the truth of the finances will remain the darkest stain on Kody's legacy. He traded his family for a mansion and some paintings. Now, thanks to the suspected intervention of Logan, he might lose the mansion and the paintings just to keep the secrets buried. We may never see the physical, secret documents. We may never see the signed settlement agreement. But we see the results. We see Janelle free. We see Christine happy. We see the kids united. And we see Kody and Robyn alone in their house on the hill, surrounded by stuff but devoid of family. That is the audit result. That is the final balance sheet. So I have to ask you, do you believe the theory that Logan forced a settlement? Do you think Kody is secretly selling off assets to pay Janelle back? And most importantly, do you want to see Logan make one final appearance on the show to confront Kody face to face? If you think Janelle deserves every single penny she put into that family pot, smash that like button right now. It sends a message that we stand with the wives who built the empire, not the ones who spent it. And do not forget to share your opinion in the comments below. Tell me, do you think Logan should sue Kody publicly to expose everything, or was the quiet settlement the smarter move? I read every single comment, and I want to know what you think. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We are tracking every move the Brown family makes, and our next video is going to expose a new theory about Robyn's secret spending habits that you absolutely will not believe. You do not want to miss it. Click subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and join the investigation. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.